would not have written those when you were writing the music.
Right. When I wrote the music and I submitted it and they didn't take it because Mary Had a Little Lamb wasn't on the agenda.
No, it was not.
Then
yes.
you know.
Neither was David Had a Little
yes.
Lamb. It was not there.
Good morning, starting Tuesday off right. Good morning, get ready to take flight. Good morning, talking about the earth things. Good morning, it's me and me from the wings. From the winds.
Hi, I'm Reba Hervis, Artistic Director at Overshadowed Theatrical Productions. Welcome to this week's episode From the Wings with our guest star, Michael Larson.
Guest star. Hello.
It is so nice to have you. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, that was nice. We recently went to see David at Sight and Sound Theater in Branson, Missouri. Now, you may remember, fans of From the Wings, that recently we visited the Sight and Sound Theater in Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
I cannot remember. Yes, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and went to see the fabulous production of Daniel. Well, they're on a roll with their D's, David and Daniel.
Working their way through.
Yes. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what we thought was worth seeing about David and what you might find interesting and why this is a production that is worth seeing. I think it's amazing that both of these theaters are like identical, yes? Mm-hmm. Like literally if you weren't looking outside or at a map, you could pick one up and put it in the other and they look the same. From the parking lot when you're driving in to the big lion outside of it and inside the theater, they look alike, right?
Yeah, especially inside. The stages are identical, so they can move it from one to the other. When they run the show in Lancaster, they can just do the exact same show in Branson. Yeah.
So you just have to decide where you're going on vacation. If you want to go to Pennsylvania, then you can go to one. If you want to go to Branson and spend a little time down there sightseeing or taking a pontoon boat or a lot of different things that the groups of us that went did, it was a lot of fun. But I think you'll have every bit as much fun in Pennsylvania as well. I have heard for years that David is a must-see production. This is one of theirs that they had years ago that they now have restaged and brought back. So I went with a great deal of expectation and hope for this production when I got there. My favorite production at Sight and Sound that I've ever seen. I've only seen 3, and I'll rate them for you at the end. I've only ever seen 3. I've seen a couple on movies, but I've only ever seen live 3. And one of the ones that is my all-time favorite is Esther. If you get a chance to stream that or see their production of it, you need to see it. I had hopes for David because so many people have been like, oh my goodness, David is so great. It did not rate up to beat Esther. What about you?
I would agree. I think Esther was a fantastic story. They did a great job with the story. David is awesome, but Esther was just really all around well done.
Yeah, I'm sorry for those of you who didn't get to see it. You need to, if they ever do it in Pennsylvania, I think they're going to. I think I heard that. But if they do, you need to find a way to go see it because it's just fabulous. So one of the things that I tell people all the time about Sight and Sound is that I don't want you to think that this is a bust on them, but they're all about spectacle, right? It's like they really, everything they do is big. They have big giants, they have big sets, they have, all of that. And it just tantalizes your emotions and your senses when you're watching birds fly around and seeing everything. It's beautiful. What did you think of just that experience with the set and what?
For David specifically,
Yes.
It was awesome. I mean, they do an amazing job with the sets. They've got the physical set and the video that happens along with it, behind it.
So talk a little bit about that, because that was one of the things that we were pretty engrossed in right away, is trying to figure out how they did it, because it looked so real. They have these waterfalls. Like, I mean, when the story opens, David is a shepherd and he is young. And as he goes from the left side of the stage, as he curves around to the right, he has these sheep that follow him, and he climbs a lot of rocks all along the edge of the stage. And in each one of them, they have waterfalls or streams in the desert or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Tell us about those.
Well, the video in general, the waterfalls specifically, that's one piece of it. I mean, you explained it. So in the middle of the set piece, pixel screens behind, I imagine. Don't want to give it away. I mean, it's real water when you go. It's real waterfalls. There's 800 real. So they've got these beautiful video screens behind you, but it looks quite real.
It was
it looks very real.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it really had us all going, how did they do that? Yeah. Because it's not like they were stationary. They were picking up these, well, they weren't picking them up, but they were sliding these huge mammoth set pieces, and the water was still flowing. And so you knew it wasn't actual real water, but...
Yeah, at first you thought it was real.
At first you really thought it was real.
When it first comes up and you see that the set and you see the waterfalls, you're pretty sure it's real. It looks that good. But they also, with the video, even just in the back, they've got the color schemes of the set and the backdrop, which is also really high res, pixel screens. It's just the biggest one in the world, I understand. It's massive, but it all blends together so incredibly well. Yeah. And then the set
so
has
vibrantly.
And it's just, you can't decipher what's video and what's real most of the time, and it's just fantastic the way they do that. So that's I guess you asked to talk about the video piece. That's what I I mean, it's something else. It's beautiful. They spare no expense.
Yep.
And no attention to detail is lost when you go to Sight
Do you
and Sound.
remember my quote that I have said like 15 or maybe more times since then?
Yes, Reba now has a new statement, and we heard it all the time. It's, we need more money.
Yes, because I just kept seeing all these fabulous things they were doing, and I'm like, I want to do that. And they're like, well, you can do it. You just have to have, $100,000. I'm like, oh my goodness. The screens were...
Yeah, they probably have $1 million invested in their screens.
Yeah, just in their screens, whereas like $1 million would be life-changing for us, right? It was just, it's incredible. Their scale for all the things that they do is just, that's what they do with every one of their productions. Now, one of the things that they have that they use in this particular production is actually something I find fault with. And that is, they have these, obviously you know the story of David. What does he do? David kills who? Goliath, who is a giant. Do you know biblically how tall that giant is supposed to be?
9 feet.
Yep. How tall were these giants?
27 feet.
Yes.
I don't know, but they were big.
I mean, I think they were 22. I looked up. They were huge, and I felt like that took me out of it a little bit. Because, I mean, literally, like, David is this big. This giant is huge, and I'm like, come on. I mean, I think it would have been cool for it to be a little bit more realistic to what the Bible says these giants were. But anyway, at Sight and Sound, you don't only at Sight and Sound, you not only see the production surrounds you. Would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what did you think about the emotional and musical depth of this particular production?
I think this production, some of the music was a little more modern, poppy, and I didn't like that part. But there was some of it that was fantastic. Yeah. The end is very, very inspirational. At the end, you leave. It's very. So I liked it overall. There are songs I would have chosen different songs, but
you would not have written those when you were writing the music.
Right. When I wrote the music and I submitted it, and they didn't take it because Mary Had a Little Lamb wasn't on the agenda.
No, it was not.
Then
neither was David Had a Little Lamb. It was not there either.
So it's the first time that I'd been to a Sight and Sound show where they used that, some of that type of kind of a
almost
pop
felt
music kind of a thing.
it felt a little bit more contemporary, and there were some songs that actually felt a little hip-hoppy, which was really
Yeah.
surprising to me. And I don't know whether they played it up because their dance moves were also a little bit more hip-hoppy, and I'm like, and actually their costumes were like not as biblical. I mean, obviously we don't know exactly what the dress looked like back then. There are no picture books, but they were shorter, and I just think that traditionally that's not the way we feel like, to fit into our biblical expectation of what things were at that particular time. But again, we don't really know for sure. I just found that what was inspiring is that a lot of the lyrics were taken directly from the Psalms. And I loved that. And there was a point that I was like, this is the best music I have ever heard from here. Because David sitting and singing and just singing worship music to his God, because he just says over and over again, I want to be a man after God's own heart. And he was in search of being that. And so to hear these beautiful phrases that he is pouring out in love for his God was
It's very nice, very good.
emotionally very stirring. But then the other songs kind of actually took me away from it. So I would say that in some regards I would give it the best I've heard, but then the other music took away from it so much so that overall I would, if you just asked me music in general, I would have said which is sad that the other one brought me out of it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, overall I liked it. I think it's a great show. I think people should go see it. It's terrific. It's terrific. It's not the
It's
best.
a hard
It's not
story.
the best. Let's go back to
It's
previous.
a terrific hard story.
No, it's a wonderful story. It's awesome, and the Giants. I get the fact that they're so huge. You have 3,000-4,000 people or more.
I know.
They're awesome. So they were great. I loved watching them bounce off that stage.
Because they're not made out of steel or human body parts. They're made out of foam,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so when they fall, it's like a giant pillow falling.
And they fall. They
Yeah,
fall
they-
too.
they-
It's
they
awesome.
do. That
It's
is
awesome. But I'm a
100%
technical guy. I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, that's true.
I think it's awesome.
The thing that is so great about the story of David, if you have not read it biblically for yourself, go read it, because it's such a triumphant story from David being this little shepherd boy who falls in love with Jesus and then just does not Jesus. He falls in love with God because Jesus wasn't there yet. So let me backtrack that. David falls in love with God and has so much faith that he can do anything, which means stand before a giant and kill him with just a slingshot, which is an amazing thing, all the way to moments of failure. And it does, I think, very respectfully handle the moments of failure that David has. And then also the struggle with all the weight that he has. It's just a beautiful story that I think for us as Christians is so incredible, because it's something that we all have to remember, that when we fail, our life is not over. We have a chance to pick it up and still love God and accept his forgiveness. And for that, it makes it a very emotional and triumphant story, I believe. One of the things that I also love about Sight and Sound, and I keep trying to encourage so many people to go, is that it is family friendly, but they don't dumb it down because of that. And so you still have, the story is still the same. It's made for all ages. A lot of times when you hear family friendly, adults will think, well, then it's not for me. But it's not like that at all. It is still for the adults. You have animals, you have live action. It has all of that. And they didn't whitewash the story of David. There's still content, because there's content in the Bible about David, and they still handled that and still brought forth the moral failures and the repentance. It doesn't just get glossed over, which I think is really important when you're covering a biblical story. I do think that there are things that you should be aware of, which I'm not sure that you would agree, but we'll find out. I believe that the narrative takes some liberties with the biblical text that some people don't necessarily like, but I also feel like they left out. I mean, it's a long story, right? David lived a lot of years, and so you got to cut it somewhere.
Yeah, it's not just about Goliath, right?
Right. I was
disappointed
disappointed that the relationship between David and Jonathan was kind of glossed over, because I think that for an example of friendship, that's such an important part. So I wish there'd have been a little bit more of that. The price of getting a ticket is definitely on the higher side, but it is definitely worth it, especially for premium seating. We probably would have paid more for it if they'd asked us for it, because the experience is well worth it. So, what do you think? David is a nice show, or it's a moving show, or summarize it for us. What is the David experience at Sight and Sound?
I think it's a fantastic spiritual experience. I think there's a lot of praise. There's a lot of worship that goes into that show. At the end, it's the end of that show is a huge time of worship, which I was very impressed. I mean, it was just amazing. So it's an awesome experience. It's a great opportunity to bring people and to evangelize.
Yeah.
Because this is a show that actually they lean that way as well. So it's edifying, encouraging to Christians.
I love it that they always come. They close every show with somebody coming down and saying, "If you want to come down and you need prayer, or if you want to know more, come down, and we'd love to talk to you." There are people right here. I love that. That's definitely part of their ministry.
Yep. Yeah. It's awesome. It was as good as almost everyone. I mean, you got your highlights, right? Like you said, Esther.
Yeah.
So Esther is not my favorite. It was certainly up there. If you hadn't noticed,
I just think that for women, it's really moving when you see a biblical woman that takes her place in God's line. It's just, I don't know, it was powerful.
And now we know why you loved Esther so much.
I just thought it was such a great story.
Yeah. So Esther was amazing. My favorite, can I tell my favorite?
Yeah, well, the kid, okay, so how many have you seen? List everyone that you've seen.
Oh my goodness. Can I even do that? I don't know.
In person.
So in person, I mean.
Okay, do this.
Or not.
Now I want more. Tell us from your, put them in order.
I don't know.
My least favorite is this, all the way to what your favorite is.
Esther, least favorite.
No. Esther was right up there at the top. The only one that Esther would be. The only one I liked better than Esther was Jesus.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Jesus was amazing. See, so you liked Esther because she was a woman.
No, I'm kidding. It's a powerful story. I didn't see Jesus.
I'm kidding. Anyway, Jesus was amazing. Technically, when I talk about the video and the set and all blending together, it was unbelievable, right? But so we've seen Jesus and we've seen Esther.
I'm glad you've seen Jesus.
I have. I saw him. First time I saw him, well, I don't know exactly the first time, but I certainly met him personally when I was 17, and he saved my soul and ripped my life apart, and I was so grateful. But then, so where was I? Because I got confused.
Jesus and then
Jesus, Esther, right? We saw Daniel.
Yeah. So do you think Daniel is your third favorite?
No, Daniel would be down the list. I didn't like what they did with. They used too much video in Daniel.
Yeah, me too.
So Daniel, I would say Daniel was my least favorite. Ooh. Yeah, and it's because of what they did with video. They really augmented video instead of set in a big way, and that's unusual. It was unusual from my experience. Oh, you saw Jonah.
Oh, I wish this one day.
It was amazing. Yeah. Again, the stories are the stories, and they're the biblical stories, but the tech, they had a ship on stage at Jonah, I mean,
they had an ark too.
Well,
in Noah.
The whole building was an ark in Noah. Yeah.
Really?
We were. Did you see it?
I didn't. I've only seen it on video, which is so different.
So, so I saw Jonah, and we saw. Since you mentioned Joseph, we saw Joseph, and we saw Noah. Noah was incredible. Again, the story's the story. It's never going to be. Oh, the acting was out of this world. The acting is fine. It's good. It's about the story and it's about the experience. Noah, it's just unbelievable what they did with the set. It's all around you. You're literally in the ark. They've got live animals mixed in with animatronic. three different layers up. They'll have a donkey up on a third story next to an elephant that's animatronic, but they look real. It's just amazing. So I don't know where I left off.
So let's just have your top 5 then. So it goes Jesus, Esther.
I don't know. Jesus, Esther. I don't know how I can put them in order because it's been so long since I've seen some. But I thought Jonah was terrific.
So you get 2 more.
So Daniel's on the bottom, right?
I do, but I want to know where David is. Is he top 5?
Yeah, David's probably, you could probably call him 4. I forget if I've seen anything else. Well, you got Noah in there too, right?
Yeah.
So I would say it was probably me, Jesus, Esther. I don't recall if I would say that that Jonah was next, could be, and then maybe David. Yeah.
All right.
But I've seen more. There's a couple others I've seen. I don't remember.
Even if it's only your 5th, it's still worth the money, though, right?
You should definitely go see David. You should go see all of them. I mean,
for the story alone.
Even Daniel. Yeah. Daniel was excellent.
Right.
It's just when you look at what I was used to, it was just one that I thought they moved too much towards video and less set.
Mine goes, I've only seen 3. It goes Esther, David, Daniel. So, yeah.
And you need to go see Jesus.
And I need to go see Jesus. For many people, David isn't just a nice show, it's moving. And the combination that Sight and Sound does of the story and the artistry and the spectacle and the spiritual themes that go with it is something that people really talk about for a long time afterwards. And many people will leave saying that it changed them, or people will leave saying, oh, that gives me a lot to think about. It's very thoughtful. It's the kind of production that works as something that is very meaningful as well as entertainment. If you have been to see David, make sure you drop your comment down below and let us know if you agree, or which one of the productions that you've seen at Sight and Sound is your favorite, and if our talks about Sight and Sound make it to be something that you would want to go see. I hope so. For those of you who know my story, you know that Sight and Sound is what really inspired me to start Overshadowed and to think that I wanted to have a place here that could tell Bible stories. So I hope that you will continue to follow both of our journeys. And a way to do that is to subscribe now to From the Wings, where we go behind the curtain to make sure you know what's worth the spotlight. Until next time, this is just me.
And me.
Talking to you
From the Wings.